Hello, and welcome to Brainy Gardener. Today, it is all about how to grow and care for the agave chrysantha. Agave chrysantha is a species of agave that originates from Arizona. In Arizona, it is more common in the central part of the state, with fewer records in the state's southern regions. It's also known as the golden-flowered century plant because of its gorgeous yellow gold flowers that appear when it matures. It is a magnificent succulent plant with golden yellow flowers that may grow up to 7 meters tall. Large, fleshy, sword-shaped leaves form a tight, almost spherical rosette. The gray-green leaves are indented along their center, creating a canal. The sides of the leaves and the tip feature prominent spines that can injure on contact, so handle with care. After flowering and producing seeds, the plant eventually dies. It is a drought-tolerant plant that does not require daily watering. This is a slow-growing and low-maintenance plant, perfect for beginners. This plant requires a bright, sunny location. Full sun is best, but it can also be grown in light shade. It does well in direct sunlight to slight shade. A window with a south or southeast direction is ideal. Plant golden-flowered century plants in an area that receives at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunshine each day. If your location doesn't have enough sunlight, you can still grow these plants somewhere in a light shade. Water this plant in the spring when the top inch of soil is completely dry. Keep the soil from drying out completely. Water relatively little during the winter and fall, when growth is slowed. Too much water may result in root rot or pale, flop leaves. You should only water this plant when needed. In the summer, you may need to water it once a week. If you feel like your plant hasn't been getting enough water for a while, and the soil looks dry on top of its clay pot or container, give it a nice drink until it feels damp again, but don't get carried away. The optimum temperature is between 55 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. To ensure that agave chrysantha stays healthy and happy, it is important to ensure that it gets the right temperature and humidity. The ideal relative humidity is between 40 to 60%. This plant is extraordinarily heat tolerant and can survive harsh desert conditions quite easily. These plants love it when they are provided with warm settings, as such they are ideal for homes with high temperatures. If you want to keep your agave chrysantha in good shape, fertilize it once or twice a year. Choose a slow-release fertilizer that's designed for cactus and succulents. A balanced fertilizer will provide nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium. You can find these items at any garden center or home improvement store. Use the fertilizer in early spring once a year. Use half of what the package recommends, and it should be enough. Don't overdo it. These plants don't handle over-fertilization well. Golden-flowered century plant can be propagated through its offsets, or what are called pups, which usually develop around the mother plant's base. Propagation using offsets will not only produce new plants, but also improve the mother plant's appearance as a single specimen. Simply place a knife between the offset and the parent plant, cut through the roots connecting them, and leave at least 1 inch of the stem behind to begin the process. Allow the pup to dry out for about 2 days to help reduce the chance of root rot. Carefully remove the pup from the soil. Gently shake any excess soil from the roots. Use a balanced potting soil and water it until it's a bit moist. Use a pot with good drainage holes in the bottom. Once the pups are dry, push them into the soil until the roots are buried. Give it some drink whenever you feel that the soil is almost dry. Place the container in a sunny spot where temperatures are hot and dry to maintain healthy growth. Potting and repotting agave chrysantha should be done in spring when temperatures are somewhat stable. This plant needs a container that has drainage holes and balanced soil for its roots. Use clay or terracotta pots since they allow the soil to drain better. The soil should be well draining and aerated. A good option is a cactus mix amended with perlite, pumice, or vermiculite. Choose a sunny spot for your agave and make sure there's enough room for it to grow. The selected spot should have plenty of sunlight for most parts of the day. Carefully remove the agave from its container, ensuring not to damage any roots. Remove any dead or decaying roots from the root ball. Position the plant in the new container to fit securely in the pot. Firmly pack soil around the base of the plant. You should be careful not to disturb roots as they are fragile and easily broken during repotting, and they are also susceptible to rot when exposed to air. The sap of the agave chrysantha is mildly toxic and can cause skin irritation, dermatitis, and even an allergic reaction in sensitive individuals. The agave chrysantha is susceptible to different pests, including scale insects, agave snout weevil, slugs, and snails. Scale insects are tiny insects that cluster on the leaves. They can cause yellowing or browning growth by sucking sap from the leaves, but are not life-threatening. You can remove them with an application of neem oil. Agave snout weevils are large black weevils that love attacking agave. They can cause severe damage to the roots and may kill your agave by laying larvae inside the plant. Slugs and snails are small mollusks and will eat holes into the lower leaves of your agave chrysantha if left unchecked over time. They need to be removed individually by hand. Please note and avoid overwatering the plant, placing it under harsh sunlight, using poorly drained potting mediums, and fertilizing during the dormancy period.